Hey y'all, hey, welcome back to another episode of the Black Girl Speak Up podcast. It's your host Jasmine, and we are here for another amazing episode, and I feel like we're gonna do some growing today, okay? That is the goal of today's episode. Mary once said we all need a little dirt to grow. So today we're gonna be discussing how far we've come, and what it takes to really grow as a person. With our special guest, Zy'keria Graham. Hey girl, hey.
Hey girl, hey.
Welcome to
Thanks
the
for
podcast.
having me. Thank you for having me.
So silly.
So excited to be here.
I'm so excited. This is going to be such a good episode.
I think that it's going to be a great episode.
I do.
Yeah.
So tell the people a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Zy'keria Graham. I'm really just your typical girl next door. I'm a new wife, a stepmom, a mom-to-be.
Congratulations.
That man got me. But we're here now. God bless. Yes. So yeah, I'm just a typical girl next door. I don't know. I'm all the things. Finding my way.
That man got me is hilarious.
That man got me. And he loves that about himself. That was like his accomplishment.
That's amazing.
Yeah. When he found out I was pregnant, he was like, "You're so wild for that. How'd you manage to get that?
How did you manage to get that?
How'd you manage to like pull that off?"
That's crazy.
I
crazy.
had help.
Listen, I mean, it's not a one man job.
You know. Yeah. It's not just on me. But be careful out there. They're on the prowl.
Oh my gosh. Before we get into today's topic, we're going to kind of unmask a little bit. So we're going to get real. When was the last time you ever had to get real with a loved one?
Ooh.
Yeah, we're gonna get real. We're gonna dive in.
Ooh. When was the really real? I feel like probably in the last month. It had to be in the last 30 days. I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like I'm in a space of my life where I'm not, my tolerance level for like BS, I think that's the only way that I can say it. It's just like stupidity.
Yeah.
Or just like ignorance is so low now.
Yeah.
So I feel like what I was able to take when I was younger and kind of just muscle through, I'm just not in that space anymore. So I feel like I have to advocate for myself a lot more in the season that I'm in for my sanity, really.
Oh, for sure.
And like my mental health and just my peace of mind. So yeah, I had to I think minus, let's take my husband out of the equation because I feel like I'm real with him every day. Yeah, we got to get this out. But like a loved one for sure in the last 30 days.
And that's good.
Yeah.
I feel like it's necessary, especially like you're pregnant. Moving into a new chapter of your life. I don't have time.
I don't even have a watch. So like the time that you think that I'm gonna take on this, I wouldn't be able to manage it.
I'm not gonna do it.
We're not doing it.
We're not doing it.
Yeah, no.
Listen, I'm here for it. Hey, so let's get into it. We're going to talk about growth today.
Sure.
Let's just take a second and reflect on how far we've come. I feel like we've had previous conversations.
For sure.
And yeah. I know for sure. That's why I was like, this topic is going to be like for you.
Listen to me. You told me when you invited me to this podcast and you told me the topic, I said, she's like, this isn't a coincidence. This is intentional.
It's very,
and I have so much to offer to this place because I'm literally prior to us recording, I was literally telling you I'm in the thick of that season.
Yeah.
This is just where I'm located.
So this is gonna be good.
It better be.
Y'all better buckle up, okay?
Hey.
First question. What's the difference between where you are now and where you were 5 years ago?
Oh, baby. I feel like maturity, for sure. I think that's the first thing that just comes to mind. As we talk about growth, I genuinely feel that I'm not mentally where I used to be. Just in the space of where 5 years ago I was very selfish, very... I have a heart. I have a huge heart. I love people. I love doing things for people. But I was very much of what I wanted to experience was very self-serving. So if it did not fill my cup, if it did not benefit me first. Like, I wanted to be first in everything, the first thought, the first person to benefit, the first person to for something to affect. I don't know. I just felt like if it wasn't self-serving, I didn't really want any parts of it, or I would make people feel bad or
for not putting you first.
For not putting me first. I mean, that was a trauma and a trigger. I had to, we had to have a come to Jesus moment and realize that that was just the little girl in me crying out for attention and crying out for like that pick me type of feel. I just didn't know how to express it, and obviously it translated in my adulthood, which when you're 5, 6, 7, 8, you having a tantrum is completely okay. When you're 21, 22, 23, and you're having a tantrum, I was like, girl, something's wrong with you.
Like, we gotta
something's evidently
yeah
wrong with you, and you're gonna have to check that. But yeah, 5 years ago, I for sure wasn't where I am right now. Like, even like in the space of like me, like my spiritual growth, just my connection with like Jesus, that definitely like put me so much further into just being a little bit more wiser. And really having like that level of conviction to check me in the areas of my life where people were not able to get through to me, because it just got to a point where I was like deaf dumb.
Like, I'm not hearing.
I don't hear any of the correction. I'm not taking accountability for that because I do not see that as an error. It's not. I'm not an error here. This is who I am, and you're gonna either accept it or go on with your life.
Ooh, okay. That is being able to finally recognize it.
Sure, it wasn't easy.
I'm sure. I'm sure it wasn't. It wasn't easy. I know, like, for myself, whenever I've made like significant growth or significant changes, it took me sitting down with myself or talking to somebody that I trust that is gonna be like to give me correction, and it's coming from a place of love. It's not coming from a harsh place or a negative place or from somebody else's self-serving like desires for me. So I want you to change for me and not for you. Yeah. And so to be able to like recognize that within yourself, it's not easy. Yeah. What did you have to start, stop, or continue to achieve that growth?
I definitely had to start saying no. Yeah, I was a yes man for sure. Growing up, I used to say yes to everything, even if it overextended even if I had to overextend myself beyond my capacity, it was an automatic yes, because I did not like the idea of disappointing people, because I knew what it felt like to be disappointed. And I think that it was such a tough reality for me that I think I kind of put myself in a place of like being the girl to never disappoint, because I knew the weight of being disappointed. So I never had a no. And when I did have a no, or when I did have enough courage or boldness to say no in the spaces where like it was solicited, like I can't do that financially, I can't do that mentally, I'm not there, I would say no and advocate for myself, and it was almost like I got punished for it. So I literally shut down my nose, and it was like yes, because this satisfies people and it keeps people off of my back. So I no longer have to deal with the backlash of the no. I'm just gonna continue to say yes until it got to a point where like my yes trapped me, and I was in a prison. And it's like, I have I have a no in my toolbox, but I won't take it out because it hurts me too much to say no to people that I love, or people hurt me behind me advocating for myself. So I definitely had to start saying no more. And when I did, baby, the peace that I had.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Like my mind opened up. And it wasn't because I was evil or because I didn't want to do, but I was like, I've done so much. I need people to realize that I'm one person.
Yes.
With a set capacity. And once I've met that, there's nothing else I have to give to you, because now I'm just giving out of the influx of doing, but I'm not doing it with the right heart or intention. Because this is not serving me. I'm just trying to keep you off my back. I'm trying to keep my DMs from being overflowed with drama and a lot of just negative, backlash from that no. But I definitely saw the benefit of managing my no and just ensuring that I advocated for myself a lot more, like in my maturation.
And that's huge. What did you still, and like, how did you adjust to when you started experiencing that shift? Like, okay, I'm giving you a firm no now. Did you get like the backlash still? And how did you handle it now that you're like, this is what it is? I'm not gonna go back on my no and make it a yes now, or maybe, or I could possibly. It's like, this is a firm no. I understand that that's a problem for you. However, this is a no. So how did you navigate that space in itself?
I'm not gonna say my no was the safest place for me in the beginning. It wasn't refuge in the beginning. It felt like shackles to say no. Like, that's so extreme. Such a vivid description, but that's what it really was for me. It just felt like every time I had to muscle up the strength to say no, then I had to kind of acknowledge the reality of being shackled again. Because somewhere in that, something negative was gonna come out of that, because no one likes to hear no.
Yeah.
And I think I easily managed, I learned how to navigate my no's better when I started hearing no from God. Does it make sense?
Absolutely.
Once I built my relationship with the Father and I heard him say no to me the first time, that gut-wrenching, like the weight of his no for something that I was very passionate about, for something that I wanted, it was a relationship. And I got my first no in that space after being a babe in Christ. I trust you. I love you. I'm on my knees praying to you. I'm crying to you. You are my father.
Yeah,
you're my father. I was supposed to be a daddy's girl.
And he says no?
He said no. And the thing is, I didn't experience earthly love from a father, because my father wasn't there. Not because he couldn't, because he died. He was dead. By the time I was 2, my father passed away. Wow. So I never got to experience fatherhood from an earthly perspective. It was always heavenly. Like, I had uncles and stuff like that.
Fatherly figures. It's not like.
But even with the fatherly figure that I did have, my first introduction to a fatherly figure was a perverted one, because he molested me. So all the connotation around fatherhood for me was always a scary one. But going back to the idea of managing my no and hearing my first no from God, that's where I was able to kind of find my way, because I realized that a no was important because he was saving me from something. Had God said yes to me being in a relationship that I begged him for, I would have been miserable. I would have been married and miserable.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm so grateful for my husband. Shout out to you, boo. But I'm grateful for who I'm with now, because I realized that if I was with that prior relationship, or with the person that I was with prior to this relationship, I wouldn't have been who I am today. Yeah. I would have somewhere in the midst of, I would have detoured so far that I don't know if I could have saw myself coming back. Not because he was a bad person, but because I would have given everything to stay with him. Everything.
And you would have been a shell of a person.
No, but in that space, I was finding God at the same time. But I was willing to say no to him and say yes to him. And that's where I was like, yeah, I learned how to manage my no. Like, I have to say no to you to keep this vertical relationship with the Father well, because that's what's my saving grace. You're not going to be able to, you didn't die on the cross for me. So, baby boo, you're going to have to go.
You got to go.
You're going to have to go. But I'm not going to say that it was a refuge. I'm going to say that it definitely was hard. But I think once I realized the peace that came with the no, and the space that I had to be me, because I wasn't overcompensating in spaces for other people, that's where freedom came. Because I was able to just be. Like, yeah, I had to tell you no, and maybe, yeah, you probably rolled your eyes and like cocked your shoulders up at me, but I still have peace.
At the end of the day,
I have to wrestle with the idea that I disappointed you, but I have peace. And I'm okay with saying no more, because I know what it is like to say yes and be like everywhere in my mind. Just, I don't know what's next. I don't know, why did I tell you yes when I couldn't? Why did I say I can give you $50 when this is the same $50 that I was supposed to use for gas? Why did I do that? To resist the space of like your back? Like, no, it's not safe for me here. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to let that yes go. Let the yeses go and trade it in for a couple no's.
Ooh, mama, you done said a lot. Ooh.
Yeah.
that first.
Yeah. Say no, people.
You gotta say no, but the idea of like wrestling with the no and the fact that it can feel like punishment.
It was.
And it like
For
hard
me.
down for you. It felt like punishment to say no to something, to say no to people, say no to relationships, to say no means that you are putting your yes before God above everything.
Yeah, everything.
Above everything. Because I can sit here and I can say this for somebody that I was with somebody, married, we were together for a long time. I felt the no before we got married, but I still said yes. And I knew God, I knew what I was feeling.
Yeah.
And I was like, like, okay. It was more of a okay. And we got married, and that did not last very long.
Yeah. How long were you married?
We were total time, it was like 2 years.
That's
but we were
long
together.
time.
We were together a total of 10.
Oh, wow.
All of my 20s was with somebody I was not supposed to be with. You hear me? Okay?
That is
crazy. Crazy.
absolutely nuts.
Absolutely insane.
I don't know if I could have done that.
Yeah.
What kept you there?
Partially because of he has a son, and I was stepmommy, and I loved that child. And to this day, I'm so grateful for all of the things that have come full circle. I have a relation with his mom, and so I can still see him. We hang out. He gets to see his little sister. It's fantastic. But I stayed longer because I knew what I was feeling, especially towards the end of the repercussions of me giving that final no. That no meant separation from this child and what could potentially happen to this child, which inevitably did happen to that child.
That's a weight.
It was a weight that I was carrying a weight that I wasn't supposed to carry. So when I finally got the firm, and it was, when I tell you, God was like,
now or never.
Now or never.
What you have to do.
You need to leave immediately. It wasn't, it finally came to like, you need to leave immediately.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so this is, now it's not like, oh, it's just a little play. It's, you can, no, now it's like life or death. You need to leave. And I was like, well, God, you ain't got to tell me again.
Yeah.
I don't need to feel it even more than I'm feeling it right now. This is your firm no for me. He gave me a no, and I was still kind of trying to like, how do I transition out of this?
Yeah.
And God was like, now it's time. I don't care how you
do it now.
Do it, but you need to do it now.
Yeah. That weight of when God's like, all right, there's no ultimatum.
It's do it now.
It's do it now or do it now.
Yeah, it's like
it's no other way.
It's like,
you got your option in the beginning and you chose wrong.
And I'm still gonna keep you. Like,
sure.
That's one of the things.
Oh my God, don't make me run. I will run clean out of this shot. We're leaving.
Like,
I give him praise on that.
He will still keep you, even when he gave you a no a long time ago. He probably, like, you probably felt that, like, I was
a long time
prior to you finally giving your final
prior
no,
to signing a lease, prior to all the things.
He gave you a no, and you still went head first and still dove right on in and like, okay, God, like, but he will still keep you in the midst of all of that.
He did.
And he did.
Yeah, I remember. Oh my God. Can I even go to jail for this? I don't even know. I remember being in that relationship, and like, the one thing that I will say that saved me in that relationship is that relationship kept me on my knees in prayer. Because I wanted him to be saved, and I wanted so badly for us to have the future that we planned. And I planned my entire life with this man. My entire life. But I was also young and naive and just in love, head over heels. He was the first person I signed a lease with, and all the things. We had a dog. Like, girl, You
all
are
the
fully,
family.
I was experiencing all the things that come with marriage and all of those things very early on. And you're talking about you, like I was in my youth, like in the prime of my 20s. And I remember there was like an argument that we had got into, and it got so heated to a point where I literally blacked out, and he had like a gun in the house at the time, and I got it, and I like pointed it. I don't even think that this is like okay to say. I don't know. If you could blank it out, whatever.
Yeah.
And I literally, my life flashed before my eyes. I threw the gun across like it was literally like somebody knocked it out of my hand. And I was like, that was Holy Ghost. Like now that I have a revelation for what that moment meant, I literally said in a flash, in 10 seconds, my life would have been over. I could have been in jail. This man could have been dead. All because I did not want to walk away.
Girl, listen.
Imagine being in that moment. Like, I know that a lot of, and there has to be a reason why I'm saying this, and I pray that somebody benefits from that, but I never share that part of my testimony, not because I'm embarrassed, but I think that moment was so weighty for me because I realized the results of my disobedience was destruction. I literally, but he kept me.
Yes.
You understand? He kept me. And my mind was like, it's like, baby, I don't know what the argument, it could have been about a potato. But it got to the point where it was like, hey, I'm going to have to rethink. Because it wasn't his conviction. It was mine the whole time. I don't even think he heard God concerning our relationship. But I was seeking God concerning it, begging him concerning it. But when it got to a point where I was like, I'm seeing my disobedience and my yes, when my ability to say yes against God's no not work in my favor anymore.
Yes.
Like, this is the end of me. So we're gonna have to find a way to crawl up out of this pit that I just put myself in, because you should have said no a long time ago.
Girl, listen. That right there, the idea of the no that you should have said being the destruction.
It gets bad.
Oh yeah,
it gets bad.
And this is a part that I have not really shared about my testimony either. Some people know, but me finally getting out, when I say it was life or death, I had a vision.
Yeah.
And it was like life or death.
Yeah.
We are fighting. It was like, it was either gonna be me or him in the end. And all I saw in the vision was he was going to get off for whatever happened to me because of his background and his title and all the things that he does. And I was then going to be nowhere in my child's life. And they were going to be explaining me to my child and not explaining it well.
Right.
Explaining it in a way that suited them and benefited them and suited their whole persona. And I was like, absolutely not. No. Absolutely not. We gotta go. For not only myself, but for my child, because understanding that once you bring life, right, that's your full responsibility. She didn't ask to be here. Yeah. And so now I have to care for the totality of her. Right. Her mental, spiritual, physical well-being is my responsibility. And so I was like, I could see the mental anguish that was going to put on. I was like, oh no. All right, God, what you said, I need to go right now? Okay. Right now. We're at the end. We are at the end. Like, it's not even like a day's notice. I was like, sister, I need you to come help me pack all my stuff up out of here. We got to put it in storage. I got to be gone tomorrow. Yeah. And she came and helped me. God will literally lead you to a dead end where there's no more options to choose a path. Oh, for sure. You're done. For sure. Go the opposite way. Please. Please. Go the opposite way. Woo. Okay. Do you think the people in your life have noticed that you changed? And have they said anything in reference to that change? Like over the years, especially people that were with you during, you said it was a very selfish time. Yeah. And have people been like, I see you. I might cry on this part because I feel like this is like where. Ew. Ew. Listen, I can get you some tissue. It's okay. Yeah.
But I think it's something I've struggled with, like, in life is, I guess people that I love being able to acknowledge my development because they've been exposed to just the spaces of my life where I just wasn't fully like who I am today. And I think it's just something I get really insecure about it because I feel like I try so hard and I want more than ever to be revealed and exposed to the ones that I love in the light of who I really am. And sometimes I feel like people can only hold me to where I was. And although I see the growth, I feel it. Even in the smallest, like the most minute changes that I've made, I try to pat myself on the back because a lot of people don't. Like, my love language is not I love you, it's I'm proud of you. Because the moments where someone's able to say like, hey, I see that, and I acknowledge that that's probably not how you would have reacted to that a couple years ago. Like, we were talking prior, but I was saying, like, how emotional I am, how sensitive I am. I've always been a sensitive kid. My mom can attest to that from the time I was a child, like, just ultimate brat. Like, but, when I got older, there was a lot of things that I was able to see about myself that I didn't like anymore. So I stopped looking in the mirror. Well, when I started looking into the mirror and I was disgusted with who I saw, that's when I was like, all right, there was an urgency and like the need to evolve.
Yes.
Because I was like, this is no longer suiting me. So not only am I hearing it from people, I don't like it anymore. And there's something totally different when you come to like yourself.
Oh, for sure.
And it's just like, yeah, girl, you might be beautiful on the outside, but you are ugly within. And something has to give. But I think I've made so many attempts at fully just evolving as a woman, then a woman of God, and then as a daughter, like still in that people-pleasing route, but still feeling like I'm coming underneath the standard of what's set before me. And it's just like, I've done all this and you still won't acknowledge the fact that I've changed. Or it's like you still hold me to like the bratty kid that threw down a chip rack when I was 2. And, things like that. And it's nothing against anybody, because I think some people just get accustomed to you being a certain version of yourself. And I think sometimes, what I stopped doing is I stopped feeling bad for someone else not being able to come into the reality that this is who I am. So it's already difficult enough to become while being. Like, I'm being who I currently am while trying to simultaneously become who either God called me to be or who I want to be. And especially now that I'm about to be like a mom and all of these new hats that I'm wearing. But ultimately I can't force anyone to acknowledge or give me an accolade for a change that they haven't come into terms with, because sometimes people just get accustomed to who you were. So like, now that you've grown, I don't know you, I'm just used to that girl. So I'm still gonna even approach you like that girl. Sometimes I have to remind my family, like, I'm not there no more. Like, don't say that. Like, you keep saying, you keep bringing up these stories, or if we have laughs and giggles about the fact that I'm a brat, things like that. But it's like certain things I won't even like sit through anymore, because it's like, no, I'm not there. Like, no, please, I'm not her.
Please,
yeah. So you're gonna stop talking, because whoever that girl is that you're talking to, that's not who's standing before you.
Correct.
And even if I have a moment where there's a mistake, or I have listen, we're gonna crash out when we crash out. We have hormone. We are human.
We are human at the end of the day.
We're human. So there's only so many things that I can just muscle and before I break. But I don't want to be held to a standard of where I was. I want to be seen for where I am right now. So I think that's I'm not gonna say it's like that across the board, but I would say that I would want to hear it a little bit more, like the acknowledgement from the people that I love, like, yeah, you have changed. But sometimes it just comes with a but, and I don't want the but. I don't want the but. Just tell me.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I see you.
Yeah.
Period.
But you're still. Yeah.
No.
What happened?
Like, if you have been along on this journey with me.
Yeah,
then you know that I've changed.
I would have been in your neck 2 years ago.
Listen.
About this very same thing, but I walked away. So let's acknowledge that I walked away.
Please, because you already know.
Instead of going from A to Z.
And crashing out on you.
Yes. Thanks so much.
Please. Thank you very much. Very kindly. I appreciate you. That's so real, and I feel like people get so stuck.
Sure.
And it's not even that they are. Sometimes it's that they're stuck themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So how could they possibly see and acknowledge your growth when they are stuck?
For sure.
And that in itself is like, well, you being stuck has nothing to do with my growth. Not one thing to do with my growth, because I am going to keep evolving as I keep seeking God to evolve me.
For sure.
I don't want to stay the same. I'm not trying to stay the same. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be, because even my previous episode, we were discussing like you evolve on a regular basis.
Absolutely. Daily. Yeah.
And like you said, you have these new hats that you're starting to wear, and they're still evolving on, like, it's going to change.
And it came with demands.
Immediately.
Listen, like, baby, nobody warned me about being a wife. Nobody warned me about being a stepmom. Nobody warned me about all of those things, and nobody could have given me a template for what it was going to be either, because it's my journey. So although there's people that I look up to who have handled all of these hats well, nobody's in my shoes. Correct. You're not married to my husband. You're not mothering my stepdaughter. And, now this child that's coming, like, you can't tell me how to do this. And you can't expect me to believe that there's a template for how. There might be some things that I can take in and put into play that'll help it be a lot more easy, or just a little bit like more smooth, or whatever that can just aid me in the process. Yes. But baby, to think that you can put a blueprint out in front of me and tell me this is how you can be a wife 101, you're a liar.
Yeah. Because no relationship is the same.
No
person is the same.
And that's where evolution comes in, because it's death. I think the first 2 weeks of me being married, I was depressed. Not because I was unhappy, but because I was dying so that he could live. Yeah. Nobody told me that. Nobody told me that I was going to grieve myself. Because I literally had to lay myself to rest so that I can be all that he needed me to be. Do I hit I don't. And it's just one of those things that come with growth, because I had to have some level of maturity to even acknowledge that I had to die in order to be with him.
Yeah, because you're not like, yes, you're going to keep the essence of who you are.
Sure.
You never want to lose that person.
Yeah.
But you as a single person, you as a wife, you as now stepmom,
for sure,
you as mother, those are completely different avenues. They're completely different.
All different. It all came with different demands. So there are some things where I did not like I didn't like the fact that when it came to like my stepdaughter, like we had to check in with her mom to like make plans, because we had to see like, okay,
is this
whose
gonna work?
Weekend? What time do we pick her up? All of those things. I was like, I'm not doing this. Not because I didn't love her, not because I didn't want, love him, but because it caused me to put to death the selfishness that I had when I was single.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, no, we're coexisting. And not only that, we have to codepend on the mother of, your child as well. And there has to be space for everybody.
Correct.
It's not just Zy'keria, it's not just Devon, it's not just, Zell, that's my daughter's name. It's not just, her mother. It's all of us existing together to make sure that she's well, and that we can still be.
Yes.
With no interruption. So
with none. And that in itself,
yeah. I'm talking about dirt.
He be like,
okay, yeah. Somebody threw dirt on me. Get it all, girl. You got to grow. You have to grow.
Unless you want to be the exact same person you were years ago, yesterday, even yesterday.
I don't think I could ever be okay with anybody that's just okay with being with no growth. Like, at what point, like, baby, that's just like telling me, like, oh, you're 26, but you're 16 in mind. Why would I ever?
Or 16. No,
I want steak. I don't want baby food.
I want the full.
Take it up with whoever.
Listen, whoever you gotta take it.
It's above me.
It's above me now.
You're gonna have to go above me to figure that out, because baby, we can't do that. I want to grow, and I want to be around people who promote my growth and help me evolve, and who hold me accountable, because it's all about that as well. I've had great people in my life who have held me accountable, and who have set a different standard for me to meet.
Yes.
Which caused me to have to blossom. Because if I didn't have that exposure to those type of people who just were not willing to like succumb to like my brattiness or my selfishness, or just the idea that like, oh no, this is me, you're gonna accept me, this, that, and third. No, I didn't have those type of people around me. I had a mentor, and she told me read me for Phil, a spiritual mentor.
Yes.
Like, she could have cussed me out in all holy language. Like, literally, she told me about myself and read me for a field, but it caused me to have to see myself in the vantage point that subjected me to change. Because had she not like checked my heart, I would have been stuck in my way. I don't want to be stuck.
No. Was it an intentional, gradual growth, or did life force you to change?
I think, hey, baby, I feel like it was all three. I think the intention came when I mentioned I looked at myself in the mirror and I was disgusted. Just that, taking on that level of acknowledgement and saying, hey, I no longer like myself. That was the intention, and I want to do something about it. And then I think the gradual part of it was just it kind of me crawling before I walked. And me figuring out, how do I navigate this new space, and how do I fall in love with the person that I'm becoming, because I knew the other person so well. That other version of me was all that I knew.
Correct.
So now that I'm telling that girl that you have to die, or that you have to go, you're telling yourself that. So I was evicting myself from myself. You have to go.
Yeah.
Your trauma has to go, your hurt has to go. All of those things have to go. And there might be some things that remain, but you have to go. Because there's somebody else that's about to, be revealed. And there's another part of me that needs to come out and needs to see the light of day. But if I stay in this position, I'm going to be in darkness forever. I'm going to be hidden forever. Nobody's going to ever be able to experience Zy'keria Graham and the fullness and the totality of who I am if I never said goodbye to who I was. And even that space of changing my last name was death to self as well, because I was no longer Zy'keria candidate. So anything that came with that last name, I was like,
had to go.
Bye, boo.
Bye, girl.
Toodaloo.
It's time to go.
You enjoy. You had a nice run.
Listen.
But this new girl, she's coming out to play. And I don't know. I'm falling in love with myself each and every day. And I feel like there's moments where I'm still grieving just the loss of self, because there are some things that I really loved about myself, but it didn't benefit anybody else except me. Yeah. And then in the space to where I got thrusted into a space of growth, that happened by God. That happened by God's design for sure. Because it was like, where you're going, who you are, you won't withstand. You wouldn't even be able to stand in your little pumps or heels for 2 seconds. You wouldn't be able to
handle it.
No, because the weight of that would cause you to be so mature and so advanced and so wise, to the degree that it would kind of be like you're walking in with elephants on you. You're so heavy because that person is not strong enough for what the place that's calling you. So I think it was just all three wrapped up in one, but it was all necessary. I wouldn't change it for anything in this world. I wouldn't change the way that it happened. I wouldn't change the route that it's happening. I wouldn't change what's happening now.
Yeah,
because it always necessary.
It's all necessary. Inevitably the growth that you're looking for is all necessary. Yeah. No matter how painful, no matter the grief gonna come, and sometimes it's gonna sneak upon you when you're just like, I'm just enjoying this space I'm in, and then a thought is gonna cross your mind. You be like, ooh, if I was still, I would not be able to enjoy this moment. It tries to kind of bring you back to that old version of you, to be like, oh yeah, you're still that girl. It's like, no. Yeah, I'm not, and I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to go back to that version of me at all. Ever. Listen,
she was not cool. I'm that girl now, but the girl, I don't ever want to see her again.
Listen, I think about that, even like we mentioned, like relationships and things like that. I know that the version of me today would have never accepted what I put up with.
Listen to me. If I was who I was, listen, and all this confidence and boldness and all of this stuff was where I was super shy, very timid. It was just a lot going on. So I was coming into myself, but I literally thank the Father up above because I needed to be in this space in order to even advocate or stand in the positions that I stand in now. There's a grace that comes with who I am right now that I would have never imagined. Like the little version of, like the little Zy'keria, like I can go back and like literally speak to the version of myself and tell her, like, you're going to be way more bold than this. You're going to be able to use your voice and you're going to be a powerful woman. Like, it's all of those things that I did not think that I was when I was younger because I couldn't see it. I was so hidden in all regards. But now that I am where I am because of the space of growth and because of just that, the inevitability of having to change in order to navigate every space of life, because every space causes you to be different. Like you said, it's a daily we grow, daily we evolve, daily we change. But if it's not for change, then I don't know where any of us would be, even like the world.
Yeah.
Like if the world didn't embrace change, I don't know where we'd be.
That's so good. I want to circle back to something.
Sure.
When you were seeking God in your relationships and all of that, and understanding that you were seeking a father, like hard, like I need a father, and knowing that your initial phases of any fatherly relationships was negative.
Yeah.
What really shifted in you? Because I know there had to be like a breaking of all of the doubt, the insecurity, all of the things that came with a negative father figure, right? What shifted in you to aid in your growth with your relationship with God?
I think just realizing that I needed him to stand. Like, I had taken so many big hits. Like, honestly, in the last 3 years, I feel like I have seen every version of God come to my rescue. Father, friend, comforter, healer, provider. Yeah. I've seen God come to my rescue, like, with a cape to, like, shield me from this fear of failure, because I felt like for so long I failed myself and I failed God, and really I failed everybody around me. My relationship with God developed when I realized I couldn't stand without him. Like, God isn't my crutch. He's literally the firm foundation under my feet.
Yes.
And anything else would be sinking sand. Like, literally, everything else would be sinking sand. Like, I have like a saying where it's like, it's God or nothing. There's no other source for me. And I'm not against anybody else that has other sources, but baby, I don't have any. It's God or nothing. Yeah. And without that foundation, I don't know where I would be. So yes, my exposure to like a fatherly figure first was a perverted one, and it did shift me because I thought that I could never experience love from a man that wasn't perverted, or that didn't come with an ultimatum, that didn't come with a ulterior motive. So I would go into relationships and wait for them to let me know what they wanted, or pop my legs open because I felt like that's what they wanted. He trained me. He told me, when you get older, boys are going to do this to you. So in my mind,
that's all. That's it.
That's what they need. That's what they want. This is how I satisfy. And I found my validation and my value from having a man in any position. And I was very timid, very shy. Yeah. But I was also naive in a lot of ways because I didn't have a standard. There was no standard set for me. This man touched me, trained me that I would be touched by other boys to take away from, I guess, the negativity of what he was doing.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And turn it into like a positive lesson. And I don't hate him. Like, I can see him today and hug him. I have no grudge, nothing, no unforgiveness. The Lord literally healed me from that. I can tell him I love him. Like, he's still in my family to this day. I've seen him at our last function. But I think what really had me in that bind is not being able, is to have gone through that and not know Jesus. I was young, I was 6, 7. I didn't know God. I was raised up in church, but that was like different. I didn't have relationship. Yeah. But when I got to a point where I got saved for real by myself, on my own will.
Yeah.
And I started to seek God, for myself. And I heard God's voice for the first time. His first words to me was, I miss you, Zy'keria, and I love you. That's the first thing I heard God say to me. And you're talking about a manly, fatherly voice. Saying that to me in my secret place. I was home alone in my bed, and I was ripped to shit. It was a healing moment for me that made me pursue him more, because I wanted to hear him say it again.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah,
I wanted to hear a man say that to me, and it feels safe.
Yes.
So like, even when it came to, this is so personal, but even when it came, my husband can attest to this. When we dated, when I met him, we met on a dating app. But when I first heard his voice, I knew he was my husband. Like, I heard he said hello, and it was safety immediately.
Oh, that's a
so
different kind of...
it was a connection there. And of course, I didn't tell him that in 2023. I'm not about to like get you riled up. Like, you're not about to have me on day one.
No,
let's not play these games. We're gonna make you work for it. But I knew in my mind and in my heart, I told I tell my best friend all the time, if I can find safety in a man's voice, I know that I belong there.
Yeah.
It's how you speak to me. It's what I feel when you say certain things. When you tell me you love me, do I get goosebumps? I got all those things with my husband. But in 2023, before I even knew him, before I ever saw this man in person, I knew that he was for me, because it was literally comfort, the same comfort that I got from God, I got from his voice. And not to make him my God. I didn't got through that phase where it's like, oh my God, my man. But I wanted to experience that again. And I think the Lord gave me that love in a man, earthly, because he knew how comfortable I was with experiencing that love, heavenly. And like that heavenly love. Yeah. Like, there was refuge there. There was safety. There was comfort there. Yeah. If you ask me, my house could have been a cave, because all I was doing was seeking God, like on my face, on my knees. And it sounds super religious and super like over spiritual, but that was my reality. I lived in his presence.
I mean, if you were in a dark space, sometimes that's all you have.
I lived there because it was so safe. And when the Lord told me, I'm calling you out of the wilderness, people don't understand the wilderness is a safe place. It's a hidden place. I was hidden for so long, but it was just me and God. So when he told me go back out there to the wolves, I was like, no, I want to stay here.
Like, this is comfortable. What do you mean?
Hello? You throwing me where? Bring me back in the fold. But absolutely, when I heard his voice, just to kind of bring it all, because I can talk all day about Jesus, but yeah, just wanting to hear his voice and wanting to experience that more, I started seeking him more, and I found my place in his presence. And it's just like, this is water. This is what I need to live and breathe. Nobody can convince me otherwise.
Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. I was like, you mentioned it earlier, and I was like, wait, we gotta circle back to that.
He's a good father.
I don't want anybody to miss that.
He's a good father.
Yes.
Like, personally.
Yes.
He's a good father. And I still sometimes I still struggle with fatherhood, earthly fatherhood. Like, even with my stepdad, I still call him by his name. Like, I've never called him dad. I mean, I reference him as my father, like, to other people. Like, he's the only dad I've known. He's never been perverted. I trust him.
Yeah.
There's comfort there, and I love him, and he's always loved me. But it's not always safe. It doesn't always feel safe to like acknowledge somebody as dad outside of God. So it's still working. Growing pains. Yeah. Like, I'm still working on that, but I'm also not forcing myself into that space, because it's not necessary for me to like identify somebody as a dad.
Correct.
Because I have him.
Yes.
I don't know if that's something I need to heal from, and maybe that'll open me up to the reality of calling somebody dad. But I don't know. I don't find it a necessity. So,
I mean, I feel like you've already grown within that space.
sure.
Is there potential growth there? Possibly. But
Maybe.
but the fact that you can find comfort in relying on God first,
For sure.
I feel like is the bigger picture
Yeah.
out of all of that.
Yes.
That's the bigger picture.
Yeah.
So my ending quote, sometimes growth looks like sitting with the things you don't want to feel until they lose their power over you. And that, I feel like that sums up
so
like
good.
everything we just talked
Nothing
about.
else was said tonight.
Listen,
That would be perfect.
that like
Yes. Absolutely.
It's the dirt. It's being
really
in
is.
the dirt and really like, I need to grow from this. And growth does not always look pretty. Like, it can be one of the darkest times that you ever
sure.
experience. But the version of you that comes out on the other side of that growth,
Absolutely.
I would not trade this version for any other version.
No, I like me.
I like
She's
this.
really her.
I like this space that I'm in.
Yeah, I really like me.
You know, I really.
I think
like
people like me.
that. Yes, absolutely. I
like me, right? Okay. Absolutely. Yeah, I think
so funny.
I really enjoyed that quote, and it really reminded me really quickly. It reminded me of the show Queen of the South, and it literally was like one of the quotes or something like that in the beginning of one of the seasons was that there was like a special flower that grew, but it only grew in the dark. Yeah. And it grew in the dark. And I think I connected to that the first time I watched that, and I was like, they were trying to parallel who she was, being that all of her experiences were like negative, like it was
very
just,
negative.
it was just a lot going on in her life.
Yeah.
But she bloomed and blossomed in those spaces. She found who she was, and I think her transition in that show was just evidence and just kind of like a testimony that, like, you know, dirt doesn't, you know, cause you to dirt doesn't diminish your growth. It causes you to grow. It's necessary.
Absolutely.
And it has to be thrown on you in order for you to blossom.
Absolutely. Ooh, it has to be.
It has to be. So we got to stop resisting the dirt.
So, listen.
We need it. Yeah.
Some people will try to run away from the dark times because it would be easier to stay in the light.
Yeah.
But when you're in the light consistently all the time, that means that you never have refuge. You're always overexposed.
Yeah.
You are always exposed to something. The sunlight, if you have too much sunlight, especially if you are a plant,
You can die.
as we know, like some plants, they
Wither away.
thrive.
Yeah.
They thrive in the sunlight. But then there are some specific plants, they have to be covered partially or all the way in order for them to really see growth. And I feel like as people, we have to go through those times where we are covered.
Yeah.
We are shielded.
Yeah.
Because that's when we're going to see the most growth within ourselves. So
good.
you know, again, healing homework, ladies and gentlemen. I know some of y'all that work. The healing homework for this week, my goodness. Healing isn't about running from discomfort, as I literally just said. It's about meeting yourself in it. The feelings you suppress will always find a way to surface.
Yeah.
But when you allow yourself to sit in and sit with it, you can take away that control that has over you. So I want you to take a look at this. It's a book online. If you feel like ordering it, of course you can. There is a book on how to stop breaking down your own heart. Ooh, I want y'all to take a look at that book. Just take a look at it. Read some of the preface, read some of the information on that book. It really goes into emotional resilience, and I feel like that's something that growth happens in growth. It's like you build up your emotional resilience when you are growing. So just take a look at that. Really sit with yourself in this season. Decide, are you even growing?
Yeah.
Or are you like trying to avoid it because it's uncomfortable?
Painful.
And it's painful.
Yeah.
So let me know, y'all. that is it. Thank you so much for being on my
Thank you for having me. This is so good.
That was
Made me almost cry messing my makeup.
Listen, it was real close, but I was like, oh, let's.
Yeah, we didn't drop.
It didn't drop.
Growth.
So we're good. Growth. Listen, I will see you guys next week. Bye.